which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. Okay, so the mayor's on vacation, if you haven't noticed. Yeah. Before the roll call, Linda, can I do these two motions, so bear with me?
No, just say the mayor's not here.
Yep, okay. Linda, please call the roll.
Mayor Mikolajchik, Council President Conahan.
Here.
Councilman Corn.
Here.
Councilman DeCino.
Here.
Councilman Doty.
Here.
Councilman Quinn.
Here.
Councilman Rex.
Here.
Administrator Laplace.
Here.
And Attorney Corsini.
Here.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Linda. I need a motion to remove Resolution 222-2024 from the consent agenda to update the vendor.
Yes.
Motion.
Second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Second one, I need a motion to add to executive session, potential litigation, Creighton Lake, and potential litigation fees. Somebody can make a motion?
Make motion.
Bobby? Thank you. Thanks, Kevin. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Linda, I just moved right into appointments. Yes, please.
Okay. Tonight for appointments, we have appointing James Johansson to the Cultural and Arts Committee, appointing Councilman Corns as liaison to the Cultural and Arts Committee, accepting the resignation of Patricia Clark from the Environmental Commission, appointing Dan Crone as alternate 1 on the Environmental Commission, and appointing Andrea Murphy as alternate 2 on the Environmental Commission.
Okay, thank you, Linda. Somebody make a motion?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. No proclamations. Ordinances for introduction. I'm going to ask Linda to read that.
Okay, we have ordinance number 2132-24, an ordinance authorizing the sale of Block 306, Lot 17 in the Borough of Middlesex to be sold at public sale in accordance with NJSA 48:12-13A.
Thank you, Linda. Can I have a motion to introduce?
Motion. Second.
Kevin, thank you. Linda, roll call.
I'll do roll call.
Yep.
Okay. We have Council President Conahan.
Yes.
Councilman Corns.
Yes.
Councilman DeCino.
Yes.
Councilman Doty.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
And Councilman Rex.
Yes.
Okay, September 10th is the public hearing. Okay, moving on to ordinances for public hearing and final adoption. If I can ask you, Linda, to read those.
We have ordinance number 2129-24, an ordinance amending Chapter 272 Massage and Body Work Therapy Establishments of the Municipal Code of the Borough of Middlesex to clarify certain provisions thereof.
Motion. Second.
Second?
Okay, that was open public hearing.
Yes, that's to open the public hearing. And who did the second? Mark? Kevin?
Okay.
Okay, anybody wishing to speak on ordinance 2129-24, please come up.
Excuse me, what is that one now?
Bruce, that is the massage and body work therapy establishment. Okay. Yeah, seeing none, hearing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Kevin, okay. Can I have a motion to adopt?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Okay. Linda?
Council President Conahan.
Yes.
Councilman Corns.
Yes.
Councilman DeCino.
Yes.
Councilman Doty.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
And Councilman Rex.
Yes.
Okay.
I
All right, motion passes. Linda, you want to read the next one?
I have ordinance number 2130-24, an ordinance amending Chapter 395 of the Municipal Code titled Trees.
Okay. Motion to open the public?
Motion.
Bobby,
Second.
second. Thank you. Anybody want to come up? Chris, you're good for questions on the tree thing?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, Bruce. Go ahead, your name and address.
Okay. Bruce Sanders, 10 Minutes Avenue, Middlesex, New Jersey. All right, I realize this is coming from the state of New Jersey. Remember, I got up in front of you guys a couple months ago and said, we have to start thinking out of the box. This allows, as I understand it, a tree on my property, which I own. The state of New Jersey says you need to replace that tree. If it falls on your house, whatever happens to that tree, depending on the size, you need to replace it with one, you need to replace it with two. This is the ordinance that's in front of you today. Now, my guess is that this is all in the idea of global warming and green things. I just want to make you aware. One mature tree absorbs 48 pounds per year of CO2. There are 228 billion trees in the United States. They absorb 5.47 billion tons per year. The U.S. emits 5 billion tons per year. That means that the stuff we are producing is CO2, which we need CO2. If we didn't have CO2, it would be it would be too cool of an environment. Let's look globally. There are estimated globally 3 million trees. The world produces 37 billion tons per year of CO2. Globally, trees absorb 73 billion tons per year. Trees around the world can absorb 2 times the amount of carbon emissions. And without CO2, like I said, the planet would be cold. So I agree with trees. I'm a meteorologist. I'm a climate scientist also. We need those things. But I'm trying to make the public aware that we're doing this stuff at the wrong cost. Remember, again, I go back to saying, road, governor, reasons for doing this. I understand what you're up against.
Yep.
But
Yeah, we have no choice, Bruce.
yeah.
We've
On my property.
yeah, in your backyard.
It's a total overreach.
Yeah, and you know what? Here, one last thing. They talk about squatters' rights. What's to say the state of New Jersey doesn't make this way out there? I realize that. What's to say the state of New Jersey doesn't make that tree a squatter's right and reclaim your property? In the future. Oh, sorry. I'm just saying.
Thank you. Thanks, Bruce. Anybody else? Okay. Okay. I need a motion to close the public portion.
Motion?
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2030-21?
Motion.
Bob?
Is there a comment, Council President?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there's nothing we can do as a municipality, Chris, or anything we can do at all?
So the state DEP combed all the ordinances throughout the state for shade tree. And very specifically flagged issues that in each town, not just us. I represent Flemington. They have ordinances up for amendment too. So, and it's just that's the deficiencies they found in ours.
We can't just say we're not going to apply this because we think it's an overreach. That's just going to cause downfall. If you're not listening to us, we're going to fine you or whatever.
I mean, the administrative state would kick in then and maybe do it. I don't know what mechanism that would take. Perhaps a court order, something like that. We've seen that happen before. I'm curious if some town does that, how they take steps, but they will.
Limiting enforcement can be limited. Can we fight against the big government?
I can't.
Or that?
We could talk about the methods of enforcement.
Yep.
You know, the methods of enforcement. As to the elimination of it, I can't say. But we can talk about methods, leniency, if you will. I can't. But yeah, we looked at the 6 ways to Sunday counting guards, and
This is just where we are, where the dart landed on the board.
so you say. Yes, I mean, that's how you want to put it. I won't dispute it. So.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. A motion for adoption.
Motion?
Bob? Second? Thank you. Okay. Linda, roll call.
Okay. Council President Carnahan.
Yes.
Councilman Corns.
Abstain.
Councilman Casino.
Yes.
Councilman Doty.
Yes, but not liking it because I sat through all those with the shade tree.
Councilman Quinn.
Under protest, yes.
And Councilman Rex.
Yes. I'm with you there, Mark.
Okay.
I was just like,
Motion passes.
I changed mine to a no.
Yours is a no.
You can change it if you want. Yes.
Change it. Okay, got it. Okay. Ready for the next one?
Okay, last ordinance, 21, well, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, we have ordinance number 2131-24, an ordinance amending section 168-2, construction fees of chapter 168 construction code uniform of the Municipal Code of the Borough of Middlesex to waive fees associated with construction projects for 100% disabled veterans.
Okay. Thank you, Linda. Motion to open public comments?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Anybody have comments on this from the floor? Just have to,
No,
you could,
do you know if the microphones are on? They're on. I'm sorry, it's just, I couldn't hear it. So.
yeah. Yeah, they're on. I'll crank it up a bit. Anybody for this ordinance for the permit waiver? Okay, seeing none, hearing none, I'll close the public portion. Motion to adopt?
Motion to close.
Motion to close, I'm sorry.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Can I also have a motion to adopt?
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Linda?
Council President Carnahan?
Yes.
Councilman Corns?
Yes.
Councilman DeCino?
Yes.
Councilman Doty?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Councilman Rex?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Adoption of minutes. I'm going to ask, what's that? I'm going to ask Linda to read those.
Approval of the July 23rd, 2024 regular and executive meeting minutes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped the motion, bear with me. Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, minutes passed, they're adopted. Okay, going down, moving on to council member reports. I'll start out with some points here. I wanted to pass on my deepest condolences to the family of Howard Howie Fredrickson. He passed away on August the 1st. So Howie was a life member of Lincoln Hose number 1. He was the oldest living member of Lincoln Hose, joining the Middlesex Fire Department in 1964. Our next Pillars of Middlesex will be at the September 24th meeting, so 2 meetings from now. You Are the Help Until Help Arrives is free training for residents, teaches life-saving skills, CPR, you probably see it advertised. It's coordinated by our OEM as well as library. You have to register online. The important thing here is September 19th at 6:30 in the community room at the library. Schools reopen on September the 5th. National Night Out, I'm sure Councilman Doty will touch on this, but I just wanted to comment. Last Tuesday was another huge success. Thank you to Sergeant Jolene Arricchio. She coordinates the entire event and the entire police department. I think this has turned into our biggest event as far as volume. Mountain View Park looked beautiful for National Night Out. Thank you to Lenny and the entire DPW crew, especially Lenny Park, the Parks Department. Also, the older playground equipment at Victor Crowell Park, I saw that. It was painted. It looks like new. And also, the old pump house on Marshall Place, painted, looks great. Cleanup day for the Greenbrook is in Mountain View Park, if anybody wants to help, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's on September 21st. That's a Saturday, and you have to register online. There's free lunch. That's managed also by the Parks Department. And the last thing I have, I'd like to get a consensus for a new Take a Book, Leave a Book to be added at no cost to the borough at Victor Crowell Park, closest to the new playground. It was discussed at the last Parks meeting and unanimously endorsed. It was built by 2 residents who are here tonight, Tricia Stone and her fiance. They actually, I had pictures, they actually brought it in. It's right here for everybody to see. And I wanted to get consensus from the governing body so they can work with Lenny to have that put up in the park. You guys, everybody good?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes? Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. And then just work with Lenny. I know you have a spot and he'll work with you on just getting it secured in the park. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for coming. That's all I have. Councilman Carnes?
Thank you, Council President. For the administration, I'm going to leave that to the administrator to get the report. I have not heard anything for the disabled and senior services, which I'm assuming everything's going well. The film committee, there's nothing going on in our community right now. And for the culture and art committee, they finally had their meeting last Thursday, but I was on vacation, same reason I missed National Night Out. That was amazing. I did attend the REACH program at Margaret Middle School with the administrator, and we had a very nice interaction with the students about what we do here, what our purpose of being here is, and that they are our future to get involved, and if they dare ever to dive in, to sit up here, to be knowledgeable of why they do it and why they're being here. And that was great. I mean, the administrator did a great job as well.
Yeah, I just want to add, Councilman, you're pretty impressive. I think the teachers and the librarians are taking notes. You really kept the kids' attention the whole time.
Thank you. That is it, Council President.
Okay, thank you. Next is Councilman DeCino.
Yes, for Environmental Committee, like Mike said, September 21st is International Cleanup Day at Mountview Park. Also, we have scheduled another tree giveaway on October 19th. There's 4 species you can choose from. You have to register online, pick your tree, and that will start September 1st. Also, we talked about this at our last meeting, that water connection for the tree farm. I mean, I know we couldn't fit in the budget this year. I mean, I think it's a worthwhile thing to do. It's $3,000. It was last year. Because when we can't water, it takes guys from Lenny in the morning to water. So it's something we need to keep in mind for next year, maybe, that we can put that through, that water hookup there.
Okay. Is there a hookup?
There's not a hookup. I mean, the
Have
water
to tap
company
in.
would come and do it, but they're going to charge us.
Yeah.
But it's difficult for him to send guys. He can't always do it.
Is there a fire hydrant?
There's a hydrant there.
Okay, can we get a meter for the hydrant?
They would include a meter, right, Len?
It's expensive. It's roughly around $5,000 for the year.
Okay.
To get the meter, security deposit $3,500, monthly charge, administrative fees. So yes, once we get the meter, yes, but you need to have that in the budget.
Better to put a line in.
Yes, we can do it as long as we
So there's a lot of stuff going on with the rain garden. It's pretty much in the works. Lenny and Claire have been working on that. So we should see that happening soon behind the library, which is a good thing.
Behind the library, right?
Yeah, behind the library. As far as DPW, guys have been out painting crosswalks and stop bars. 50 crosswalks were done, 80 stop bars were painted. In addition to all buildings, parking lots, firehouses, rescue squads were all painted. To date, 640 storm drains have been cleaned. 30 tons of blacktop used to address the potholes throughout the town. In the park, new grills, picnic benches have been installed in Mountview Park, and also some bike racks have been delivered. Also, garbage goes back to once a week next week. And I know we had a problem with this roof here. Lenny's looked at that, and I don't know who wants to address that. Michael, if you want to address it later, or we can.
We're working on that.
So that's
Be coming up.
That's all I have for.
Thank you. Thanks, Bobby. Next, Councilman Doty.
Yeah, we'll start off with, there was a small fire today in Park Brook Gardens. There was somebody injured in a fire, and if you saw the medevac landing, that's what it was about. They took him to a burn unit, so it's an ongoing investigation of what actually happened inside. It's basically the press release that the chief put out, just so everybody knows what it was. Okay, we'll start with the police department. Last month, for July, they had 1,661 calls, made 17 adult arrests, handed out 254 motor vehicle summonses, radar summonses 26, and they responded to 25 crashes. The detectives didn't seem like they had a lot of new stuff going on. They have some stuff they're still investigating, but there was investigating one theft. There was 2 shopliftings, up the page here, 1 obstruction hindering apprehension, and the rest of the stuff wasn't, they had fairly a slow month. I'd like to comment on National Night Out. Every year, Sergeant Mauricio, she does a better and better job. It's becoming almost out of control. It's getting so big. Because I showed up and had to park way the hell over by the pool just so I could get there. It's incredible. And it's a free night out. It's great for the kids, and I think everybody in this town should be taking advantage of that and coming there. She does a fantastic job with that whole thing. Every time I see her, she does coffee with a cop and everything. Anything she does is just over the top. I don't know how she does it. We had a fire report for July. They had a total of 32 calls, 261 for the year so far. Let's see, what did they have going on here? They had trash and rubbish fire. They had a passenger vehicle fire. They had they responded to 3 natural gas leaks. 1 other combustible liquid spill. They did a they did a carbon monoxide incident. There was 3 of those, which is, that's a bad one. They don't know what they're going into usually. And then they have alarm system activation, no fire, unintentional. There's 14 of those. That's been pretty consistent for this year. It's been a total of 96 for the year. The chief wanted me, we're still laid up, and he'll be back on his feet in a couple of days. I believe he's going back to work next week, Mike?
I think so, yeah, after Labor Day.
He had surgery, so he's been a little bit out of sorts. But July 19th, they went to the intersection of Lorraine and Mountain for a motor vehicle fire and took care of that for them. They extinguished it, no problems. They responded to 3 different residents last month for high levels of carbon monoxide, and they also participated in a fire prevention detail on July 8th with the Super Training Academy at Mountain View Park. Keep it short and simple for them because they didn't have a big month, which is kind of for them. And on that subject, this is 45, maybe, members? 45 members? Or is it less than that even
it's
now?
close to 40 now.
Yeah, it's basically 40 men volunteer for this fire department. And are getting to all these calls. I don't know how the heck they're doing it, because growing up here, anybody that's grown up here knows there was waiting lists years ago. So these guys are really doing a lot with nothing. Court, 330 for July, 331 tickets, 37 parking violations, 221 moving violations, 9 DWIs. There was 12 criminal complaints total. They did 5 court sessions, 2 in person, 3 virtual. 323 defendants went through. 172 cases were deposed. Total assessed fine cost was $42,899.18, and the borough portion received this month is $23,915.10. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thanks, Councilman. Councilman Quinn?
Okay, so the only thing I have from the Board of Health is we do have a contract now between Middlesex and Somerset that's going into executive session tonight for approval from the council. Then it has to go back to the Board of Health. Beyond that, let's keep on.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Councilman. Councilman Rex, welcome back. Good to see you
Thank you.
in person.
Thank you, Council President. I don't have anything to report this evening.
Okay.
I'm happy to be here in person.
Yes. Okay, administrator's report.
Thank you, Acting Mayor, Council President. Good evening, everyone. As you heard from Councilman Decino and Council President, summer projects and activities by various departments are underway throughout the borough as we wrap up the summer season. Park system improvements and maintenance work such as painting new and existing fixtures have been done at all sites throughout the town. Municipal facilities such as the historic pump house on Bound Brook Road have been spruced up by the DPW, as was mentioned. So we think the town's looking really good for as the summer ends. The library director, Christy George, has reported that development of the Middlesex Borough Local History Room has been delayed due to unforeseen incidents. We've had a leaking roof in the library, so we have some bigger issues that we have to take care of. That's delayed development of the local history room. A volunteer group is scheduled to meet next month to start working on putting together the collection and the displays, and we hope to have an unveiling of that facility in the fall. The borough is looking into the plan, which you may have read about in the media, for a joint Middlesex County and Somerset County historic park. It's to be developed mostly in this borough and partially in the borough of Bound Brook. It's at the site of an old Revolutionary War era bridge near the Raritan River. The sort of working project name is Old Stone Bridge Historic Park. The project involves a large commercial property in Middlesex Borough, which is being purchased by Somerset County. Our borough has not been included in the planning for the proposed joint county park to date, and the purchase of this commercial property in Middlesex
will result in a significant loss of tax rateables. We estimate $35,000 a year. So I've reached out to the leadership of both counties, and I will be reporting back to everyone on this, because we really, Middlesex Borough should not have been left out of the discussion, and we need to, be made whole as far as this process. Some good news on the revenue side. The borough is in the process of closing on the sale of the old firehouse headquarters on Grove Street. Council resolutions on the agenda this evening include the authorization to purchase equipment for both the fire and the police departments, approval for a sewer system analysis and evaluation study, and authorization to move forward with the purchase of new trash receptacles and a prefabricated restroom facility in Mountain View Park. The borough has embarked on a long overdue annual reassessment of properties. This new initiative involves a 5-year cycle where about 20% of the borough will be assessed over each year through an in-person inspection. The annual reassessment program will allow for a fair and accurate distribution of the overall tax levy. And this, of course, is to support municipal, school district, library, and county services. Staff is asking for council consensus this evening to move forward with some upcoming ordinances involving the property maintenance codes, junkyards, and the Board of Health bylaws. For property maintenance, we would like to expand who can issue summonses and update and clarify language in the ordinance. As for junkyards, they would be prohibited in the borough. And then with the Board of Health, the board is asking for council support to make minor changes in its bylaws. These ordinances, if you're all comfortable with us moving forward with them, would be introduced on September 10th. I just want to know.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. Great. Thank you, everyone. There is no agenda workshop tonight, and in executive session, we'll be discussing public safety contract negotiations, real estate at 1190 Mountain Avenue, potential litigation revolving 22 Whitney Drive, the contract services for the Board of Health, and then the 2 additional ones, Creighton Lake litigation and fees. And that's what I have.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, privilege of the floor. Can I have a motion to open the privilege of the floor?
Motion.
Bobby, second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, the floor is open. Yep, name and address at the mic.
My name is Joe DeSenza, 321 South Shore Avenue, 56-year resident of Middlesex. I have 2 things I'd like to talk about. Number 1, I understand fully the reason for the reval and trying to get it back on a regular track. My only concern is that we just completed it a year or 2 years ago, went into effect last year. It's just too soon, in my estimation. I'd rather see you put it off for 2 or 3 more years, then start the 5-year program. Put that money aside. I mean, we're spending so much money now. Try to put a little bit aside, save it, and use it when we can. Second thing, as you, I know, well know, I'm a candidate for council. I have my running mate here, Ken Griggs Jr., and we started walking the town. And our first area was on the other side of the tracks. It's kind of like the neglected area of Middlesex. I want to bring to light some of the concerns of the citizens over there, especially those that live on Sherman Avenue. It's kind of a mixed street, half in Piscataway, half in Middlesex. The roadway is atrocious. It is one big pothole. I mean a pothole. But in spite of that, the amount of traffic that travels that street is phenomenal. It seems to be a cut-through for people coming from Ganellan to get to 287, because it leads right into Randall Road. It's a shame. It really is. It's probably the worst street in town that people live on. I mean, we've got Bakeland Avenue, but, that's kind of an industrial area. So that street is really, really bad. And in spite of that, while we walk that street, it had to be 50 or 60 cars and trucks that would traverse that street. So it is a light traffic street. It is limited to 4 tons, vehicles under 4 tons. And according to the neighbors, it's forgotten. Piscataway police don't check it. Middlesex police don't check it. I'd like to see if we can do something to have it maybe patched or do something, put it on the list sometime in the future to try to get that street done. And number 2, see if we can get police presence either with Piscataway or both Piscataway and Middlesex to try to keep the heavy trucks off that street and give a break to those residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Dave Folk, Chemistry 40 Hazelwood. I also have some questions about the reassessment. I saw somebody, I guess, one of the citizens posted on something on Facebook, I guess they got this letter, which is comparable to, I guess, the handout you have out there. It's a little bit confusing because maybe you guys didn't write this, maybe it was boilerplate came from somebody, but it says in this, like under the second bold item, it says, the effort to ensure fair and equitable property bills, Borough is continuing the 4th year of its 5-year program. This is the first year you're doing this, correct? Am I miss something?
You're correct, Dave. I have a sample that I got from the tax assessor or the administrator, and I don't see on there. So the first line says, we will begin the first year of a 5-year reassessment program. It doesn't say 4 out of 5.
I believe that's correct. This is the earlier version.
Oh, it's an early, okay. Okay.
Okay, so there were some corrections to this. Okay. A couple of questions that come from this handout. Again, this little place may have updated information, which would be good. It says under one of the bold items, who will be conducting the reassessment? It says, as you read through it, says, be carried out by inspectors. And then it says, our assessor will review the sales that happened during the year. So are the adjusted values going to be based on what the inspectors find, what the assessors determine? Is it a combination of the two? It's just unclear to me. You know, I know I might be putting you guys on the spot, maybe you know this, ask the assessor, but it's just, you read this, it's just like you wonder who's going to be setting these new values and based on what?
I think it's a combination, Dave, but I can't say 100%. So the assessor ultimately is responsible, period. And obviously the inspectors go out like they did 2 years ago. They provide the data. It feeds into her. Her name is Dawn Gutshell. And at that point, Dawn has, she has a license. She works it up. I think it's ultimately up to her, but we can confirm that.
Okay.
It is?
And she's certified.
It is.
Okay. And so this will be going on over a 5-year cycle. It'll do roughly 20% of the town each year, right?
It's exactly 20%, Dave, and it's over 5 years. So everyone will get done once over 5 years. It's starting on the 1 through the 70 block.
1 through 70.
On the
1 through 70 is the first round.
Denellen border to roughly the high school north of 28. And Dawn is, she's off this week. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here, which would have helped. Her extension in Borough Hall, for anybody, it's 270. And her email is easy. It's tax assessor at Middlesex Borough. She also has office hours starting again next week, every Wednesday evening.
So these inspections in the first bit of the town, they've done this start already?
No, they didn't start, but they're going to start in September after the holiday. Yeah.
Okay. Aren't we mandated to do this? What's the cost of this program a year to the borough to do this? I know it's pretty much required by tax boards when it comes to see everything. What's the cost of this?
I don't have it. I don't have, Dave. We can find that out. I do have. I did find out from the CFO the cost when we had to do the reevaluation in 2022, first time in 36 years, right? We all know the story, which I think was criminal, the fact that we waited that long, but that cost us roughly $300,000 because it was such a huge undertaking over almost 40 years. I have the resolution, and the vendor got, I think, 270, and the other 30 was 4 or 5 mailings, new tax maps, tax rolls. It's roughly 300. We obviously want to avoid that. We can't do that again. That was a huge undertaking. It took basically the borough staff half the year. So this is a way that even that out so we don't ever get into that rut again. I know other towns that surround us do either 1 out of 4 years, and I wish the mayor was here to explain it better, but 1 out of 5 years. We opted for 1 out of 5. It is mandated. The clock start, if we got past December into January, the clock would start the reevaluation clock. Right now, we had a 2-year moratorium that expires in December, so a reassessment doesn't start that clock. So the reassessment, again, is 20% of the town. So every 5 years, everyone in this room, including everyone up here, will be reassessed.
And they're pretty much going to...
An inspection.
They're going to pretty much determine which section gets done in a given year. I mean, whose home gets done based on geography, not what the target people are doing.
No. So great question, Dave. Here's what went out. You can see here's Denellen. This is color-coded. That's 1 through 70. The assessor determines this. I'm assuming it'll be phase 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know the order, but that's exactly 70 blocks is 20% of the town. So that's the math she worked out. So that's where it started. Again, I don't know that, but it's exactly 20% over 5 years.
I just have one last question.
Can we get a copy of that?
Yes.
Mr. Corsini might be able to
Sure.
answer this, since I know he does work in Bridgewater. In Somerset County, they have a computerized program or something, I think, called tax assessors. Tax assessors are linked into it, and they just have to do this with technology, correct?
No, my house has been assessed 2 or 3 titimes.
What's that?
They come to my house. I mean, I'm a homeowner in Bridgewater. And
Yeah, well, I thought I had heard like years ago that the Somerset County tax board or assessor, county assessor, years ago, basically was attuned to this, that, you know, property values get way out of whack if you don't address them, and she has a program.
so they may have a program. You could talk to John, who worked for the Somerset County Tax Board for many years. There is a bit of statistical modeling that has to be done, and that may be what you're thinking, because if a resident doesn't let you into their home, right, you have to do some guesswork. I know because I live in Bridgewater, and we're on the 5 years cycle, and I've been assessed at least twice, not 3 times, because I don't know. So
I'm guessing based on what you're saying, and maybe Bridgewater and other Somerset County towns do the inspections once every 5 years, but the other 4 years, if you're not inspected, they do it with the program. That could be.
perhaps, I'm not exactly sure.
Okay, I just had one last question. It's sort of related to this whole more about taxes. Mr. Place during his report was talking about this property that's going to be this historical property that's going to be taken off the tax rolls of Somerset County. What it is $35,000 in tax money it pays a year.
Right now it's a commercial property, just in case people are trying to picture where this property is. The property is mostly in Middlesex Borough. A piece of it's in Bound Brook along what's known as South Main Street, which is that little bit of their road that goes into South Bound Brook, from the Queensbridge into where the roundabout is, in Bound Brook. This was a warehouse and distribution site. So it was a, important rateable for us because it was a commercial rateable. And I'm just very surprised, quite frankly, that they didn't include Middlesex Borough as the host community to say that, how do you feel about this? This is how it's usually done. I have a lot of experience in open space trust fund and park planning. And usually you speak to the town and you say, is this in your master plan? Do you like this idea? That sort of starts the conversation. From what I can tell, no one's had that conversation with this borough. So we're finding out about it. Quite frankly, I'll tell you how I really learned about how this was moving along. Our tax collector came into my office and said, did you know Somerset County is buying a big piece of land here? And I'm like, why would Somerset County be buying a piece of land in Middlesex Borough in Middlesex County? So that's sort of where the investigation has begun. So I really do want to get to the bottom of this. I want to find out, it's a shame that it's after the fact. It seems like, I believe Somerset County is more or less closed on this property. So we want to be made whole somehow, and negotiate with the 2 counties to figure out why are we taking this big, financial hit here. I'm sure it's a wonderful project, but we don't even know much about it.
Well, my question is, right now, we have, from what I read online, about 2 dozen, maybe a little bit more tax appeals pending before the state. And you're rightly concerned about $35,000 in tax money that we're losing on this project. it seems to me from those stated deals, we could probably lose more than 35,000 collectively. Is the council doing anything strategically in a financial way to head off the possible effects of that? I mean, I emailed back and forth with Caroline a couple weeks ago after I emailed you, and she was nice enough to answer a bunch of questions for me, and it sounds like, well, okay, if some of these properties get settlements or reductions, they will get tax credits going forward, but then the tax rateable base for Middlesex is reduced. So we're going to get, as taxpayers, hit twice. We're going to have to make up for the credits that they get, and then they're going to pay less because the rateable base is going to be reduced, correct? I mean, I think I got that right.
Well, I mean, that's the problem with the rateable going away, too. I mean, the park, for example, is actually worse because this is going away forever. So think about $35,000 a year forever. That's, we're not going to be collecting.
But I just feel that with
I mean, to answer your question, we are as concerned about this appeals as anyone. They're really on a case-by-case basis. They're not all the same.
And that's another reason, Dave, that, you don't wait 36 years to do.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
This is, if we have one or two, this is all created by people long before everyone in this room, so.
All right, thanks very much.
Hi, Caroline, 136 Down Avenue. I'm going to have something to say on that in a second, but I'm going to get back to the situation. I'm a little confused. I received an appraisal that was already done. Some gentleman came to our home, ran through our house, was in and out in a minute, and left. And somehow or another, my taxes have gone up $827 last year, $543 this year, and yet I'm being told this doesn't start for 5 years, this hasn't started yet.
It hasn't, no.
Then why are my taxes almost $1,500 higher than the 2 years?
I'm not-
I've done nothing in my home.
I'm not sure, so that, you have to talk to Dawn. So I live on the same street as you. My taxes went up 2 years ago after the reeval, $1,000.
Yes.
$1,000, so you're 800. So, I obviously I wasn't happy about it, but, for 20 years, I was underpaying. Yeah, I'm not, but again, so that $800 for you is probably the 1,000 for me.
I'm sure it is, and I'm sure it's only 600 this year that they went up. I have no idea. All I know is that I have absolutely no reason for why these would have gone up. And when I tried to go in to actually appeal them, I read everything it said, why the taxes went up with my letter, and it said that the mayor has put a lot of money towards all of these different projects. And then when you go to appeal it, it says that if these are things that the mayor is doing, don't appeal because you're not going to get it. It's in there when you go to fill out the forms. The directions to fill out the forms tells you that.
For the tax appeal.
For the taxes.
Have you met with the tax assessor or spoken to her?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I wanted to do it the right way.
No, that's,
My tax appeal
yep,
form.
yep.
Do it appropriately because if this is the case, I am well over, we're in a lot of money here at this point. It was in less than a 5-year period of how much they've gone up. It's insanity. And I'm all for upgrading things. I am a firm believer in taking care of our police officers and our fire department. And I donate gladly. When they come to, they know me when they come to the door. I'm happy to. And I don't mind paying my taxes. I don't need my garbage picked up twice a week during the summer. I don't think we need a new bathroom at the park. I think you could have painted the old one. I think that we're in a situation where people are barely buying groceries today. We live in one of the most expensive states in the country, and yet we're worried about doing these projects that really, there is no reason why they can't wait. This is a lot of money. I'm spending almost $12,000 a year just in my taxes. I mean, it's rivaling my interest rate on my mortgage now, and I just feel like at some point somebody's got to say stop. And just like with the park being sold, if we have to ask permission to take a tree down in our own yard and replace it, then why are these people not coming and asking permission? And I know that you can do this because I was the borough clerk in Middlesex Borough for a while. People came and they asked permission to do these things in the town. So I'm not sure why they're being allowed to do something like this, which is hurting us fiscally, which is everyone in this room, in this town is going to end up having to pay for that. And that's just unacceptable. I mean, I'm sorry, but at this point, they really need to be told no. Or why are they not paying taxes for that park? This is my opinion. But again, I'm very concerned because what I'm being told is that my taxes have gone up basically $700 in 2 years, and it has absolutely nothing to do with that.
I would, Carol, I would, we'll take this.
First, read out first. Yeah, it does.
Yes. I would, my recommendation is to sit with Dawn. She's the tax assessor. Start there. Every Wednesday evening, it's taxassessor@middlesexborough.nj.gov. Or the extension I gave is 270. You can leave her. So she'll be back Tuesday. You could see her Wednesday, set up an appointment. She's very good. She can walk through all this. I think that would be a great place to start. I know a lot of people have sat with her and have had good luck getting through the entire process. And she could break down exactly where, you know, what happened in the last reevaluation. She could break all that down.
And I do have one question. Do we have classrooms with only 7 students in them? In our school system?
I don't, yeah, I have kids in the school. I don't think so. I can't comment on that, but I'm not on the Board of Ed, but I don't think, my kids haven't said anything.
It's showing like a lot of the schools, like at least 3 of the schools, some of the classrooms are like 8 or 9 kids.
Yeah, that might be a special need classroom.
No, I would understand that.
But,
That makes sense to me,
But I would be shocked. My wife works in the schools. I don't think I think they're at full capacity. Most classrooms, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, all right, I will speak to her and with the council.
About-
I mean, I don't know, do you guys get a say in what the taxes are?
We don't have a say, no. I mean, the tax assessor can help. Like I said, I think everyone that sat with her, made an appointment, I think you'll have,
Well, just
I think it'll help quite a bit.
I mean, like, if I haven't even been hit with the 5 years, and I had to imagine everything else is just all of that. And I'm used to like a couple $100 increase.
Yeah, yeah.
That's normal. But-
Same with me.
All right,
Thank you.
Appreciate the time.
Kevin Rudzinski, 441 Fairview Ave. On August 10th, it was sometime between 9:15, 9:30 in the morning, I pulled up to the Cedar Crossing, leaving Middlesex. I was the 4th car. As the gates went up, everyone proceeded across, and traffic was stopped. Stopped. First car trying to get across was stopped. It was stopped by an employee of Straight Tagging, who stepped out into the street, stopped traffic, to allow for a tractor trailer to pass through. As shocked as I wasn't as angry as the guy in front of me, who slowed down and started to yell at the guy, who proceeded to flip him off, tell him, F you piece of... So now, Spray Tech, for whatever reason, seems to be getting a pass on impacting our quality of life. They've now crossed the line into risking lives. This is especially frustrating for me, because you guys are always telling us and informing us, get involved, do something. Following the last fatality at the crossing, I did just that, and I started making phone calls. And I landed on a contact with the Federal Railroad Administration. And when I talked to that gentleman, my opening with him was, I'm calling you about the Cedar Crossing, are you familiar with it? And he said, oh yeah, we're all familiar with it. It's the black eye in the Eastern Corridor. Now, I haven't lived here long enough to know this, but he informed me of it. Apparently, at one time, those tracks were not side by side. They had branched off and gone south before it entered Middlesex. Conrail did whatever they had to do, appealed to whoever they had to, and he said, in his words, they put the two tracks together. He said it's been killing people ever since. So we have 2 of the top 10 most dangerous crossings in the entire state of New Jersey. About a year ago, I was on a phone call meeting, it was during the pandemic, and I was hearing a discussion with the Federal Railroad Administration and residents of Bound Brook, because they were contemplating whether or not to close and eliminate the train crossing on the other side of the Queens Bridge. This was going to involve historians, because there had been battles there. This was going to involve studies for the aquatic life, because it was along the water. So, given the chance to speak, I asked them, why are you doing so much when just up the road in Middlesex, you've got two of the most deadliest crossings in the entire state? And their answer to me was, because we're hearing from Boundbrook, we're not hearing from Middlesex. I'm going to forward copies of all my correspondence and all my emails with the Federal Railroad Administration and with the borough. I feel I established a very solid, concrete line of communication with the Federal Railroad Administration that was allowed to dry up. Within those emails, you're going to see that there have been projects all across this country where they've gone so far as to build or eliminate whole highway on-ramps because of crossings that were deemed too dangerous, and none of them have fatality. No one's paying enough attention to what's going on at these tracks. And there's going to be another death on these tracks. The Mountain Avenue, which now I can only guess the traffic is going to exponentially grow as that warehouse starts to function, because the Piscataway got in front of it and lowered the weight restriction. So the trucks are not able to go through Piscataway to get out of that location. At one point when I mentioned that during a meeting, I was told, well, there's going to be a road that's going to be built so that they don't have to come over that crossing. Instead, they'd be going over the Cedar crossing. It seems to me like I don't know if this is being ignored, not considered, not realizing what can be done is one thing. Because I understand it sounds like a large project. But when somebody establishes and starts talking with the gentleman I talked to, he will tell you they need to either go over or under. And it's not our responsibility. It's the responsibility of the rail lines. They're coming through our town. We don't have to just sit and take whatever it is they give us, especially when it's killing people. The first step needs to be some kind of pedestrian crosswalk over that. Because there's nothing marked, there's nothing. Again, this is one of the top 10. At one point, Cedar was the #1 most dangerous in all of New Jersey. You'll see in the emails, with the research I did, Long Island started a program and eliminated all of their grade crossings, all of them, because they had one tragic accident. A lot can be done there, but it's going to take someone who represents the borough to stand up, start making the calls, talking to these people, and having it done. That first phone call I made, the gentleman informed me there was going to be a site visit coming up, and it involved all the players. I forwarded that information to Mayor Madden and someone who was a representative of the town that was at the meeting. I would have loved to have seen a lunch back here following the meeting, have everybody there. There was someone from the county, because this is the other thing. It's a real cluster. The gate on the other side is operated by Conrail. The gate on our side is operated by New Jersey Transit. The light on Lincoln is handled by the county, and I'm pretty sure the light on the other side is handled by Piscataway. And one hand does not know what the other hand is doing, and people are dying because of it. Everybody thinks it's as simple as, don't cross unless you can get all the way across. Just don't stop on the tracks. The poor women who died in the last accident weren't stopped on the tracks. There happened to be 2 trains passing at that time. And there was a truck who felt he might have been too close to where the freight was coming. So he backed up, forcing the woman to back into an oncoming passenger train. It's a recipe for disaster. Without a major change, there's destined to be another death. And this is just Cedar. Mountain Ave, I hate to make a joke of it, it looks like something in a Roadrunner cartoon. Who would have a fridge that dumps you at a train crossing? These things can be fixed. I was told by the guy at the Federal Railroad Administration, they can be fixed. But Conrail is not going to step up and volunteer to do it. The federal agencies are not going to step up and volunteer to do it. I did all I possibly could. I established a line of communication. I gave the contact, and I'll send it to everybody again.
Could you send it to me?
I'll send it to everybody again. Anybody who wants it, I send it to.
Okay.
And you'll see where he lays out the fact that they know it's a problem. They know it's their problem. He said that they were calling that meeting because everybody, all eyes were on Conrail, is what he said. They want to see what's going to be done.
and that was years ago. So a lot of work could be done there, and I would implore someone to look into it, because otherwise we're destined to have another death event across. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Please send it.
I will.
Hi, Mike Ivy, 136 South Avenue. But just since we're talking about reevaluation of home prices and stuff like that, I'd just like to clarify one thing. If you go on the website for the school district, you'll see that Hazelwood says it's got 1 teacher per 7 students. If you go to the middle school, it says 1 student per 10 students. And if you go to the high school, it says 1 teacher per 11 students. So we're not making this up, and we're talking about taxes and everything else. So either there's statistics in the wrong, or we're paying a lot of people to do nothing. So just want to bring that up.
Yeah. Have you tried to go to, have you been to the Board of Ed meetings at all, Mike?
No, I haven't.
Okay. That's a great question. Again,
I'm just going by the website.
yeah, I totally get it. Yeah.
So, thank you.
Yep.
Bruce Sanders, 10 Middlesex Avenue. This tax assessment thing reminds me of Carson, Johnny Carson. Remember Carnac? Carnac said something like, how can you get blood out of a rock? And it's pretty much raise your taxes. You guys did this. You finished the assessment in 22. My taxes went up by 623. My taxes just went up another $500. $1,100. People are on incomes that are not matching this. We're going to raise the taxes again next year. There's probably no way not to do it. Look at the school, what they're doing. So my question is, did you guys know, is this in your budget? The money to do this is in your budget?
I think so. Could you confirm that, Mike? Yeah, it is.
So did we know this and we weren't going to say anything? Surprise, we'll do it during back to school time. We get this letter. Not part of it.
That I don't know, Bruce. Unfortunately, she's not here this week.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
The mayor's not here.
That would help. Yeah.
I get he gets vacation. I get that.
Yeah.
And I know you guys are trying. I'm not trying to, but I'm trying to say things. And I know you guys see it. Taxes, everyone's here.
Yep.
Taxes going up. Everything's going up. But the point is, we can't keep doing this. And, you're going to do another assessment. My question is there a history going to happen? Do they have the history from what you just did 2 years ago?
Yes, Bruce. It's the same vendor.
It's the same vendor?
Yes.
Which they screwed up mine, but that's okay. So if they have that, why should we even let them in?
In theory, if there was a change to the home, like if I put on an addition in the last 2 years, that's the only reason why.
But the point is, we just can't keep doing this to ourselves. And I agree, someone said, Senator, thank you. Yes. He said, why don't we go on the 6-year plan? At least give people time to breathe. Let these markets settle, because they are going to settle. We all know that, if you know anything about markets. Let the market settle, then go do the assessment. I wouldn't have a problem. I'll be in line for it.
Yeah.
But, to hit me again, to have to fight again through the county, this is ridiculous. Think about it.
Thank you, Bruce.
Tim Stewart, 345 Main Street, Middlesex, New Jersey. Distinguished council members, it's indeed a distinct honor and privilege to stand here before you. Thank you for your service. Thank you to the police department, fire department. I am proud to be a member of Middlesex Borough. I stand before you tonight with concerns of other residents who are here, looking at the taxes increasing. I have gone through people going to buy a house, measuring it outside the inside, wondering why we're doing this over again. And I'm really concerned that this great community is going to be affected in that much way. I would like to understand something. We said that this is a 5-year plan in which 20% of our borough will be assessed. So what exactly does that mean? Assume that I am in the first 20%.
Does that mean that my taxes are raised before the others?
So,
Or
no, Tim, not at all. So, what's that one? Yes. So they're just going to be inspected. So there's, just like the first time, there are residents that saw an increase, like me. There's residents that saw very little to no change, and there's residents that saw decreases. So, and it's all based on the assessment values and what's been done to the house. And again, 36 years. When I bought my home, it was assessed at like $86,000. So now it's, 400 and whatever it is. It's a fair market value. So, but to answer your question, that doesn't automatically mean that there's an inspection, that there's a tax increase whatsoever.
then, on a state level, whom should I contact within New Jersey to have them take a look at what's happening here? Is it a matter that the state is not giving enough funds to our borough, Middlesex? Is this something that we can address by contacting, is it Frank Cologne? Is that's on this?
I don't know if it is, but I know we were mandated. Am I right?
We did have a choice.
So we were, it's the County Board of Taxation in Middlesex County, but Linda, the Borough Clerk, said we've been mandated to do this.
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah, so, but it does go, my first stop, Tim, would be New Brunswick, Middlesex County. That's where the tax appeals go, the Board of Taxation. That's where I would start. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my question. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.
John Madden, 39 Ramsey Road. I just wanted to elucidate about the assessment. We were forced in 2022, state mandated after 36 years, 1986. The big takeaway is you had residents from 1986 until 2022 that paid an unfair amount of taxes. And that was shameful for 36 years. And then you had others that didn't have to pay that. They skated, not to anyone's ill will on that. So that's why the state mandated that in 2022. So the important thing is they're trying to even the equalization, even the valuation. So I think this probably makes the most sense, even though a lot of people think it's going to be a tax increase. If your assessment is increased next year, does not mean you're going to get a tax increase. Because the tax rate is based on the governing agencies, which is the municipalities, libraries, county boards, and what they'll do is they'll determine what the tax levy is. A tax levy is distributed to each municipality for the tax rate. So that's what our taxes are based on. So the benchmark that we used to take is a third of the residents, their taxes will go up, a third will go down, and a third will stay neutral. So that's the reality. We can't wait 5-10 more years to do this because it's too much of an unequal type of valuation.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Steve Slattery, 56 Lewis Avenue, Middlesex. I just want to follow on a comment that the gentleman who was up here before, Mr. Matt. I won the lottery. I'm one of the first ones going on this thing. So my question is this, and it deals with the other 80%. So if they reassess my property and it increases my taxes, how are the other 80% impacted by the first 20? Is nothing happening there? If I'm in the last group of people, I won't see a tax increase because of this. I mean, you may get other increases, I understand that. But what happens with the other 80%? How does the first 20 impact the other 80?
I don't know, Steve. I don't know if anybody else up here knows. We could find out for you. With the assessor, I just don't know.
It just sets the value of the home, right?
And I assume that...
Hold on, Steve. Chris.
So it just sets the value of the home. So when you reassess, it sets the value of the home, and when the tax rate is set, it's reflective. It reflects onto what your value of your home is. They'll be up next year. So it'll be 20% more up next year. So I don't know what's wrong with the microphone.
All right,
Right here.
so if I'm in the first 20%, my taxes, let's just say go 5%. okay? Does that 5% then translate to similar houses or comps combined on the other 80%? Or do they just, I don't want to say skate, that's not the right word, or are they just not impacted by what goes on?
Their values are set.
Their values are set.
At the reval, but there will be up, 20% more people will be up next year.
I understand that, but
Each year
I'm
down.
paying more taxes now on the people, and the people who are at the end, they get to wait, 4 more years. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a method to madness, but I'm not sure that's not fair. I realize that this isn't fair, but you get 80% of the town who get to sit at least another year or another 4 years before anything happens to them. And in the meantime, I'll get a tax rate, and I'll probably get another one next year. Minimal, maybe, but still, I got a head start on everybody. Well, I'm assuming that if we got a letter, we're the first group, because I'm in block 71, I think that was mentioned. So I think I'm one of the first ones. So
I could find out, Steve, from, after we're going to take a recess between executive. If you can please provide your name, phone, email, whatever's, and we could find out from Dawn, because I don't know the answer there. To your point, there's got to be a method to the madness.
So, and I have one last thing. So look around the room here, I think everybody probably a little gray hair. Or no. What does this mean for the residents over 65 who put in for the real estate tax freeze? I mean, I'm getting the tax freeze.
Yep.
For 22 and 23, I mean, I just filed that. So, does that mean you can't touch me?
What's that? Yeah, it stays frozen.
Not that number.
Up front, and then the state reimburses you for the difference. I went through this with my mom. Well, I understand, but freezing my tax. No.
No, your base number was
At that
frozen
rate,
whenever it
they
started.
will apply. But you still, if your tax go up, you're going to have to pay it, but you'll be reimbursed to get that. So it'll bring it back down. Okay, so it just doesn't freeze it here, it goes through the state. Right, okay.
Steve, so I don't know, Steve, we could find out.
Well, I think the gentleman...
Based on Bruce? Okay.
If my tax goes up, they're going to reimburse me the difference.
The difference, yeah.
From where it was frozen. So that, thank you very much. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
But that's only frozen for 1 quarter. You get a rebate on 1 quarter for your taxes. Your taxes, if your taxes are $100 for 1 quarter, they're only going to be $50. They're not going to give you any money back. That's what your tax rate is. It's a reimbursement, but you don't get any money. They just lower what your taxable are for that quarter. Because you overpaid.
Yeah, it'll be a credit on your tax.
Yeah.
Okay. Same thing for whatever, but it's getting back to where I was.
I just want to make sure that we...
No, that's fine. I just want to make sure it took me back to where it was, because it doesn't address it.
Yeah, but that's just 1 quarter though, not for the year. They only do it for 1 quarter. That's what I remember.
Well, maybe it's a different,
Yeah, it's a 1.
maybe it's a different program.
I'll go with the flow on that one and see what happens.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul Kevich again. Council President Conley and I just have one comment. Listening to all this, I've heard you a couple of times, more than a couple of times, say, well, the tax assessor's on vacation, she's not here, this and that. I think you should have her come to a meeting
That's our plan.
and
Yeah.
publicize that she's going to be here, and let all these people
Yep.
and anybody else,
Yep.
because it seems somewhat unfair for you guys. You're not tax professionals.
No.
So let her be here, let everybody fire away with their questions and let her answer.
Yeah, that is the plan. Thank you, Dave.
And I'm going to give you the reason why you can have her come here, because my tax assessment brought me up $100,000. Good that house 5 years. And it's $100,000 more than I did, but my value isn't that high. So I think that needs to be explained, because that seems like a mighty big cut.
Yeah.
And then at this point, because that was over a year ago, so it's even less than 4 years at that point. when it was redone. So, and I paid still 100% on my end, so, and it's still on her now. I think we need to have her here.
Yeah, we plan
And
to.
I think she needs to be held accountable for
Right,
how
and
she's
if,
coming up with.
and if you don't want to wait till when we do schedule a
Oh, why
formal
are you
meeting.
calling?
Yeah, so I'll make it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say, don't wait.
Yeah. But, all right.
She'll be here. Thank you.
3:45. Quick comment. What about grants? Are we applying for grants for some of the projects that are occurring here in Middlesex Borough? Are we submitting contracts? Do we have people who are qualified in grading effective grants so that we can get money from the state rather than taking money from
We are, Tim.
taxpayers?
Yeah, so great news. 2 years ago, this will be our second year, so we use we use a grant writing firm. So we pay an hourly rate, and she's secured,
Hundreds of
I'm going to say 300,000 in grants, plus you'll see on the next page the resolutions, for instance, the Mountain View Park bathroom, and when he's here he can confirm it's 200 and change. That's paid all by grant funding. A different grant. The fire department got $180,000 in grants for specific gear that we would have had to have bought at some point coming up because it expires. All the CO tanks, the air tanks, and all that stuff. So, so we've done a good job. We just started.
And then another thing. I'm a senior citizen, widower. I have some free time on my hands. I could go to the park and help clean things up. Can we institute some sort of notification, a call to arms for residents that come to Middlesex Borough to assist in some of these things that we're paying for?
Yeah, Tim, that would be a great idea. You could start, I think, our first one, it happens.
September 21st is it?
I'm sorry.
It's National Cleanup Day at Mountain View Park on September 21st.
So 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the park. There'll be a lot of folks there, including us and DPW, and then at that point we can get your name and information, phone number. We can continue to keep you on, alerted to when we do this stuff, and you can even work something out maybe with the Parks Department to help just maintain the parks. We obviously we don't have a lot of volunteers. Nobody's volunteering anymore, so. But thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a good
you.
evening.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Hello, Mike.
Hey, Rich.
My name is Rich Thomasy, 109 Green Avenue. I would volunteer also.
You do enough of that.
I'm just wondering, who's the liaison to the Board of Education?
I am.
Mike, I think everyone here is concerned about taxes. All right. Just, mine went up $660. So I'm in the club. All right. I think we have the potential to maybe save some money. I know that the landlords have a fee of $150 for a check on their property. I think that passed a few months ago. Am I correct on that?
Back in the spring, yeah. Yep.
And there's an attendance officer at the high school. The last time a resident check of the students at the high school was 7 or 8 years ago. And it found 85 students went to Middlesex schools that were not residents. And that $14,000 a person comes to $1,190,000. So I think there's a potential that we can coordinate the checking of the apartments and the attendance of the checking of residents of students.
I totally agree, Rich. I think most people here probably agree. Obviously that's the Board of Ed, but I can facilitate a meeting, you and I could work together, I could facilitate a meeting, try to get the superintendent to sit down, or somebody at the high school or at the administrative office, and ask about that. Yeah, because I didn't know it was 7 or 8 years, but I know it's been a while.
Well, I'm going to bring it up at the Board of Education to resident check. I think it's important.
Or a re-registration, they used to call it. Yeah. Yep.
I think it's important.
I'm not sure why it's not done, but you know.
Thanks for everything.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you.
Ken Griggs, 328 London Avenue. I just want to say that I agree with Joe that it would have been good, I believe, if we postponed the tax reevaluation for 2 to 3 years if possible. Although I do see that, you know, as I'm in the top first 20% with some other people, that there most likely won't be a change in the next, you know, in my reevaluation as I'm one of the first. So there is a positive side potentially too for people versus the downside that you're being reevaluated already. But anyway, I just want to point out that I do agree that it should have been, you know, a few years down the road for the reeval, in my opinion. That's all.
Thank you, Ken.
Hi, Mike Guy again. I just had a quick question. Can you clarify, the Board of Ed, do they tell you how much money that they need, or do you tell them how much money they get?
Neither.
Because it's kind of confusing,
Neither.
like how it works.
Neither. They're the wrong entity.
Yeah.
Standalone. So my $6,000 a year in school tax just goes straight to them?
Yes.
So we
Yeah.
collect the tax and then give it to them. We have no leeway in paying.
We have no control over their budget.
We collect all the tax,
We collect all the things.
not the federal tax.
Okay. Thank
The
you for
county tax, all
clarification.
that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Do they account to anybody for what they spend it on?
You, the voter.
Oh, so they account to nobody. Because I'm not ready.
Dominic Musto, 50 Lewis Avenue. When I received this letter yesterday about the annual reassessment program, I immediately dashed off an email to our tax assessor. She was kind enough to promptly respond. I'd like to read one sentence of her response to my question about providing more detail. She said, "This program allows for 20% of the homes to be expected to keep the property cards up to date, but it also allows for all of the values to be brought to 100% of market again." Now, I quite didn't understand what she meant by that sentence, so I then turned to my AI. I asked the AI the question about the phased assessment program in New Jersey. I'll read you the response. 20% of homes reassessed. It says the homes that are reassessed in the first year will have their property values updated based on current market conditions. This means their property taxes will change accordingly. Applying a factor to the rest, for the remaining 80% of homes, some communities may apply a general adjustment factor to account for overall market trends. This will ensure fair taxes. Now, do you know if we're going to apply a factor to the other 80%?
I don't, Don. No, no, not even close. So that's a Dawn question. She's not here. We're going to have her here. So you've already corresponded with her?
Yes.
That's a good question for her, and I would think she'd explain it.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
let me make an assumption that some factor is going to be applied to the other 80%. Now, every year, I have hopes of seeing my taxes decline, but I fully expect them to go up. But there's always one variable that causes them to increase, and that's the budgets. Board of Education, county, and municipal budget. Now, with this annual reassessment, I'm wondering if there will be two variables. One, the budget,
And two, the impact of this reassessment. So I now have two factors to consider when I receive my property tax bill.
What would be the other, what's the other factor, Don?
Well,
In addition to
one factor is the budget, right?
budget and municipal,
Because the property tax
Yep,
rate stays
yep.
the same, all of our assessed values stay the same. But now, with this reassessment, will there be another factor, which is the reassessment? I mean,
Michael?
the property
Yeah.
tax rate stays the same. As an example, if my house is valued at $100,000.
Right.
The property tax rate stays the same. You apply the property tax rate to the assessed value, there's your taxes,
Yes.
right? But now, if my home is revalued at $150,000, now I have two things to consider. Number one, the increase caused by the budget, and the increase now caused by my increased assessed value. I mean, it has to work that way. It has to work that way, which is distressing. And as somebody previously mentioned, the market, I'm not a real estate person, but I know that real estate prices are moderating. And somebody, the first person up here earlier, suggested that maybe we should wait to start this program for another 2 or 3 years. Maybe this is too soon to start. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Don. Thank you.
Number 64 in Fairview Avenue, Middlesex. You know, there's a lot of mention about the taxes. And as one person said, that's just one part of the problem, is that budgets are another issue. I think the overall fiscal health and how things are run needs to be looked at. I've stood here before and I've asked for a forensic audit. I've given plenty of good reason why there should be a forensic audit. And I've been told it would cost too much, that we don't need it, there's no problem. Then I'm at a meeting and suddenly they uncovered $375,000 in uncollected taxes from 2 or 3 properties. The same year that that $375,000 was on the street, there was a $700,000 budget gap that the residents made up. Had that $375,000 been in the coffers, it would have been half the increase that the people had to deal with that year. So it's not just this tax increase with the property. It's an overall way that things are run that needs to be looked at. Because once this problem is solved, there's going to be another and another and another. Right now, there seems to be a focus on the property taxes. Again, I'll say it, but it's not going to happen. We need a forensic audit. We had a mayor that was indicted. I asked for a forensic audit after that to start with a clean slate. Nobody saw fit to do it. I was told it was too expensive. Has anybody yet come up with just how much a forensic audit will cost? Because I'm constantly told it's going to cost too much, but nobody's ever been able to give me a number. I looked it up. It doesn't seem to be as expensive as most people think. There needs to be a forensic audit. There needs to be a way, somebody looking at how things are run and where money's going. Because it just keeps going up. It's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. And regarding the markets, he said, you know, the market's going to level it. I feel that's why there's such a push. To get it going now while the market's hot and these prices are going up. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to close the public portion?
Real quick, one more.
Yes.
There's been a lot of proposals here tonight, views, opinions from the people. There's been a lot of head shaking. Yeah, I agree with you, so forth. But I haven't heard what are the actions that you're going to take? What are the actions that are expected of us to take? We heard about the market values of houses and so forth, where the market is high. We think it's unjust because it's not the real value of our property. And you heard that. But now how do we proceed to address that issue? It's not necessarily, maybe it's something that you would take up with the county, the state,
Yeah,
or maybe something that we...
And starting, Tim, with the tax assessor. I think that's the starting point at our, either at the next meeting or the meeting after, but one of our September meetings, that would be my starting point. But, when the mayor gets back, I'll bounce it off of him, and that's where I recommend, unless you guys think differently. But I think we need some answers from her, just because we don't have all the answers. So,
We kept you well past your going home.
that's okay.
Quick comment, this is John Adlian. When I was asked by Mr. Krasinski, when I was mayor, to look into the forensic audit, I spoke to the auditor, and he assured me that the issue is they don't look at every detailed account and piece of paper. They may go through 1 out of 10. Apparently, that's how the forensic audit works with the local government. So I asked him, in his opinion, the auditor, I said, do you think it would be worth it to carry the cost? He didn't think it would be. So that's why I think that thing died on the vine. I remember when I took over the office, there was stuff from my predecessor still there, the laptop, for instance. And when the investigators called me, and I said, look, while I have you on the phone, I have these other items here. Would you like to look at it? And his reply was, they have enough information on this individual. I was kind of stunned, so that was it. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, John. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Linda. So, okay, motion to close the public portion?
Motion.
Bobby? Okay, second?
Second.
Kevin? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. What's that one? Yeah. All right, Linda, please go through the resolutions.
We have Resolution 212, 2024, acceptance of stand-in report. Resolution 213, 2024, ordering the bid for the lease of the IMI compliant postal machine to Key Business Solutions in the amount of $9,450. Resolution 214, 2024, authorizing purchase of 2 mobile license plate readers from Gold-type business machines under Bergen County Co-op for the Police Department in an amount not to exceed $28,597.80. Resolution 215, 2024, authorizing purchase of 1 2024 Chevy Tahoe command vehicle for fire department from HGAC Co-op in the amount of $121,300. Resolution 216, 2024, authorizing the purchase of radio equipment and accessories for the fire department chief's command vehicle for Motorola Solutions, Inc. in the amount of $27,023.25. Resolution 217, 2024, authorizing the purchase of 1 2024 Ford 250 pickup truck from Winter Ford in an amount not to exceed $67,182. Resolution 218, 2024, rejecting all bids received for the tree inventory consultant. Resolution 219, 2024, authorizing the purchase of a new mower from Stewart Tractor Company in an amount not to exceed $38,494.65. Resolution 220, 2024, authorizing change order number 1 for the Police Department air handling units replacement. Resolution 221, 2024, authorizing the purchase of 4 Taser 7 basic bundles for the Police Department in the amount of $19,482.48. Resolution 223, 2024, approving the proposal from Remington Burnick Associates Engineers in an amount not to exceed $35,700 for professional engineering consultant services. Resolution 224, 2024, authorizing the purchase of 1 2024 Chevy Malibu for the Middlesex Police Department from Wall Chevrolet in an amount not to exceed $24,235.25. Resolution 225, 2024, approving the proposal from Colliers Engineering and Design for the design and construction administration services for the 2024 NJDOT Road Project, 1st Street, 2nd Street, and Seneca Avenue, in an amount not to exceed $117,200. Resolution 226, 2024, approving the reimbursement fee for a dog license to Ernesto Guadarrama in an amount of $13. Resolution 227, 2024, 2024 sewer billing waive appeals for various properties. Resolution 228, 2024, authorizing the tax collector to cancel off taxes on Block 207, Lot 33. Resolution 229, 2024, approving the reimbursement of $300 to Giselle Peralta for the 2024-2025 Board of Health mercantile license. Resolution 230, 2024, authorizing the refund for sewer overpayment. Resolution 231, 2024, acknowledging the change of status for certain properties as a senior citizen disabled person, veterans tax deductions. Resolution 232, 2024, approving the purchase of a Rugby 9-foot 2 to 3 year Eliminator LP dump body in the amount of $14,730. Resolution 233, 2024, authorizing the purchase of a prefabricated restroom for Mountain View Park in an amount not to exceed $209,599. Resolution 234, 2024, authorizing the mayor to execute a stop certificate by and between the Borough of Middlesex Residential Urban Renewal LLC for property designated as Block 349, Lot 6.02, 8, 10.01, 10.02, and 10.03 on the official tax maps of the borough. Resolution 235, 2024, approving the purchase of 18 45-gallon garbage receptacles for Mountain View Park in the amount of $9,997.62. Resolution 236, 2024, authorizing the purchase of the replacement playground equipment for Cook Field from Game Time. Resolution 237, 2024, special items revenue and appropriation for the local recreation improvement 2024 grant. Resolution 238, 2024, special items revenue and appropriation for the National Opioid Settlement Fund. Resolution 239-2024, special items of revenue and appropriations for the Municipal Court Alcohol Education, Rehabilitation, and Enforcement Fund.
Okay, thank you, Linda.
Okay.
Okay, anybody want to remove any resolutions from the consent agenda?
Like 217 and 232, Madam.
217 and what's the other one?
232.
232.
215, and the Mountain View Park bathroom, which was at 233.
Okay, can I have a motion on the remaining resolutions?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll call, Linda?
Council President Carnahan?
Yes.
Councilman Corns? Councilman DeCino?
Yes.
Councilman Doty?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Councilman Rex?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, who wants to start? Bobby, what was,
215 is the first.
you have the first one is
215.
215, okay. I'm sorry. Martin, that's,
Okay, so I just wanted to go over this because it seems like a lot of money. This was already budgeted for in the capital budget, correct?
correct.
This has been planned, this is a planned purchase that has been planned for more than just the past 6 months.
Correct.
Yes, okay. That's all I wanted to clarify.
Thank you, Martin. What was the other one, Martin?
The other one was the Mountain View Park, and I just wanted to clarify that that was covered by a grant.
220, I'm sorry, 233?
233, correct.
That is grant funded.
100% covered by a grant.
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay, so let's do for 215, we need a motion and a second.
Resolution 215, I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, I'll call the roll.
Call the roll.
Council President Carnahan?
Yes.
Councilman Corns?
Yes.
Councilman DeCino?
Yes.
Councilman Doty?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
And Councilman Rex?
Yes.
Okay.
And then let's go, sorry, I need a motion and a second for 233.
Yes.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay.
Roll call, Linda?
Council President Carnahan?
Yes.
Councilman Corns?
Yes.
Councilman DeCino?
Yes.
Councilman Doty?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
And Councilman Rex?
Yes.
We'll go back to 217.
The other one was 217. Who, is that you, Bob?
That's me. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know there's a lot of discussion tonight about spending money, but I just wanted to tell you the reason why this truck is on here and why money worked to get this truck. This truck is replacing 3 vehicles that we're getting rid of. One's a 1998 with 95,000 miles. One's a 2007, one's a 2006, which are not safe to operate. They're not, you can't insure them, you can insure them obviously, but they're not repairable. So which in turn leaves us 2 less trucks than we had last year for plowing and for anything else.
Those are plow trucks.
This is a necessity that, I mean, it looks like it's a lot of money, $67,000 for this truck to be replacing 3 vehicles with one.
With one.
So it's not an oversight spending, it's needed.
Thank you. Thanks, Bobby. Can I have a motion and a second for 217?
Motion.
Second.
Motion, Kevin, okay. Linda?
Council President Carnahan?
Yes.
Councilman Corns?
Abstain.
Councilman DeCino?
Yes.
Councilman Doty?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Councilman Rex?
Yes.
Bob, what was the other resolution?
232.
Wasn't there 4?
Okay, one is, Ray, we're on 4 now.
234?
232.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think that was Councilman DeCino.
Yeah.
Councilman
Okay,
DeCino?
okay.
Council
You pulled
President,
232, excuse me?
for the sake of point of order previously, I'd like to comment on 215, sorry, for the 217, to understand. So one plow truck is being replaced, 3 plow trucks are being replaced by 1 plow truck?
What I'm trying to say is that we have to get rid of 3. We don't have money to get rid of 3. So this one's a necessity, is what I'm saying.
So there's going to be plans to get more plow trucks in the
Well,
future?
we would love to order these trucks, but, you know, the market
It's not
is not.
There's a lot, I know that dealing with the past, there was a lot of manpower and breakdowns at Lynn that could have been used if we had more reliable truck to do that. That would equate to us not having to spend that money on manpower. That is a big number, like you said, but if Superintendent Vidal is having issues and sending people off, that could be a lot more pricier in the long run on the concept of that. Like, that hurts, but it's going to hurt more if we don't have anything to plow and do stuff. So I agree with that.
Okay. All right, thank you. Councilman, what's the other one, Bob? 232. Yep, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hey, 232.
Yeah, yep, you want to,
Discussion?
yeah.
That's another thing. I mean, this body is for another dump truck that we use a salter on. And you know how bad the salt is on these trucks per ton. So this is a stainless body? Yeah.
It's not the same.
It's not a stainless, so that was more money also. I mean,
So the truck is still
the truck is usable, but the body.
usable,
But the body's
it's
not.
made from OSHA that is unsafe to use. So I have no other choice. Obviously, the price of the dump body is, with the vehicle, is $85,000. It's cheaper for me to put a new body on it.
414.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
On the 20th. So
Okay.
the truck's still in good condition, which is the dump body.
Just for the salt.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Lynn. Thanks.
That's all I was saying.
Motion?
Motion.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, 232, Linda?
Yes, that's Council President Carnahan?
Yes.
Councilman Corn?
Yes.
Councilman DeCino?
Yes.
Councilman Doty?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
And Councilman Rex?
Yes.
What's that, Linda?
No.
One last one, I'm sorry, non-consent, Resolution 240-2024, pay all claims. Can I have a motion? Sorry, Linda, I'm sorry.
That's good.
Motion from Bob, second?
You go.
Second.
Second, do I do the roll?
No.
I'll do it. Council President Carnahan?
Yes, Linda.
Councilman Corn?
Yes.
Councilman DeCino?
Yes.
Councilman Doty?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Councilman Rex?
Thank you, Linda. Okay, so we have no agenda workshop items, and we're going to go into executive session. We're going to take a 5-minute recess, but I'm going to do the motion first. Okay, Linda? Sorry, Linda.
Resolution 241, 2024, executive session.
Okay, motion, please,
Motion?
for executive?
Motion.
Second?
There was no.
Your second?
Okay.
Council President Carnahan?
Yes.
Councilman Corn?